Welcome to the lesson, Appropriate Prepositions. After completing this lesson, you will be able to define appropriate prepositions, identify appropriate prepositions used with verbs, nouns, and adjectives in given sentences. Aisha has come over to Zwinky's house. She notices that Zwinky has already completed her craft project. Zwinky tells Aisha that the teacher insisted at it. Aisha corrects her by saying the teacher insisted on it. She tells Zwinky that she must use appropriate prepositions. Zwinky is curious to learn more. So Aisha decides to teach her about appropriate prepositions. Come on, let us also learn about appropriate prepositions. A preposition is a word that is placed before a noun or a pronoun that shows its relation to another word in a sentence. For example, he stood under the tree. The preposition in this sentence is under. It is placed before the noun tree. We must remember that a preposition expresses a relationship. Thus, the preposition under expresses a relationship between the pronoun he and the noun tree. Sometimes, certain verbs, nouns, and adjectives are followed by certain prepositions. These prepositions are known as appropriate prepositions. Without these appropriate prepositions, sentences will not make sense. Take a look at the following examples. I do not believe in you. The verb believe is followed by the appropriate preposition in. Now, read the next example. I do not believe of you. In this sentence, the verb believe is followed by the preposition of. This sentence is incorrect. The verb believe must be followed by the preposition in. Therefore, the appropriate preposition to be used with the verb believe is in. Let us take a look at some verbs and their corresponding appropriate prepositions. Agree to, believe in, blame for, charge with, congratulate on, depend upon, insist on, part from, accept to, appoint to, object to, prefer to, abstain from, recover from, comply with are examples of certain verbs and their appropriate prepositions. Given below are some examples to show how verbs and their appropriate prepositions can be used. For example, we agree to participate in the event. The verb agree is followed by the appropriate preposition to. Look at the next example. Rahul has recovered from malaria. The verb recovered is followed by the appropriate preposition from. Similarly, in the example, we must comply with the leader's instructions. The verb comply is followed by the preposition with. Let us look at certain nouns and their corresponding appropriate prepositions. Confidence in, limit to, objection to, opportunity for, pity for, alliance with, assurance of, allegiance to, obedience to, disgrace to, deliverance from, respite from, etc. are examples of certain nouns and their appropriate prepositions. Given below are some more examples to show how nouns and their appropriate prepositions can be used. For example, this is an opportunity for growth. The noun opportunity is followed by the appropriate preposition for. Read the next sentence. we have assurance of their continued support. The noun assurance is followed by the appropriate preposition of. Similarly, in the last example, always have confidence in yourself. The noun confidence is followed by the appropriate preposition in. Let us look at certain adjectives and their corresponding appropriate prepositions. Ashamed of, blind to, charitable towards, deaf to, different from, grateful to, grateful for, parallel to, proud of, acceptable to, accustomed to, adjacent to, accomplished in, acquainted with, conscious of, etc. are examples of certain adjectives and their appropriate prepositions. Given below are some examples to show how adjectives and their appropriate prepositions can be used. For example, the boys are accustomed to loud music. The adjective accustomed is followed by the appropriate preposition to. Look at the next example. I am grateful for your help. The adjective grateful is followed by the appropriate preposition for. Similarly, in the sentence, this is different from other books. The adjective different is followed by the appropriate preposition from. Sometimes one word can take a different preposition in another context. Let us look at some examples. We say, I differ with you on this matter. However, it is, your thoughts differ from mine. So the verb differ takes the appropriate preposition with in one context and the appropriate preposition from in another context. Look at the next example. She does not have influence with the director. The noun influence takes the appropriate preposition with. But in the sentence, he has a tremendous influence on her. The noun influence takes the appropriate preposition on. Similarly, in the example, Jim was proud of his son. The adjective proud is followed by the appropriate preposition of. But when we say, they were proud to announce the winner, the adjective proud is followed by the appropriate preposition to. Thus, a noun, a verb, or an adjective sometimes take another appropriate preposition when it is placed in a different context. We have looked at appropriate prepositions. Let us read some more examples. Aisha has explained appropriate prepositions to Zwinky. Let us now revise the main points for Zwinky. A preposition is a word that is placed before a noun or a pronoun that shows its relation to another word in a sentence. A preposition expresses a relationship. Sometimes certain verbs, nouns, and adjectives are followed by certain prepositions. These prepositions are known as appropriate prepositions. There are certain verbs followed by their corresponding appropriate prepositions. There are certain nouns followed by their corresponding appropriate prepositions. There are certain adjectives followed by their corresponding appropriate prepositions. Sometimes a noun, a verb, or an adjective take another appropriate preposition when it is placed in a different context.